Mommy, I want that cup. Me too. Me three. Wish I could. My wife will leave me if I don't get it for her. Yo guys, welcome back to another video of mine. So in this video, we're gonna discuss who will win the 2023 Rugby World Cup. So before we get into the action, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and also hit that bell notification so that you don't miss out on the next video. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, let's get into the action. And I just want to say one thing. I'm gonna do a video of the same topic next year because maybe things could change at the end of the year, and then there are maybe a few new contenders for the World Cup next year. So, first of all, the Springboks obviously won the 2019 Rugby World Cup, which was great for us. I didn't expect that, but yeah, that was a great experience for me because the last time we've won the World Cup was 2007, and I was like 1 year old at the time, so I didn't know anything about rugby that in that year. And the good thing is we are playing again in France. There's great memories there because the World Cup was hosted in France when we've won the World Cup in 2007. But yeah, let's get further into the detail. So the Springboks, they haven't had a great performance last year. They were quite inconsistent. I mean, they had a few good wins, like against the All Blacks and against Scotland away from home, and they've also won the Alliance Series, obviously, but they had a few shockers against Australia, and that narrow defeat to England, and obviously that one defeat against the Lions in the first test, and obviously that the first match we played against the All Blacks that we should have won. But anyway, France, in my opinion, France are a really, really, really big contender of winning the World Cup next year. I mean, it's on their home turf. They have the crowd. They have the home ground advantage, and they are a team that is in great form at the moment. Fabien Galtier, I don't know what he did to them, but since he took over, he just completely changed the environment of that French team, and they just started winning all the time when he came in. They had a few losses, but I think this is the most dangerous French team that I've seen throughout my entire life so far, because they're usually a team that's inconsistent, unpredictable. They can have great performances and terrible performances. Like, yeah. But the thing with them, they've always been a good attacking side, always. But the problem was they were like lazy on defense. They gave away a lot of penalties, and when it doesn't work out for them on a day, then it could really cost them. And it did. So Fabien Galtier changed that. The defense is rock solid. I think the reason for that, or maybe I know the reason for that, it's because they have Shaun Edwards as their defense coach. He was the former defense coach of Wales, and they were unbelievable at defense under him. So the French, not only the defense, but the discipline they didn't have in the past, they have it now. Brilliant discipline. When they defend, they compete at every breakdown, they steal the ball a lot, and obviously Fabien Galtier is one of the best attacking coaches in the world at the moment. So no wonder their attack is good. It's just in their DNA. They play a similar style to the All Blacks. That's why I think the All Blacks struggle to win against France when they play against France, because I mean France made history in 2 World Cups against the All Blacks, and they've won various times against the All Blacks. So the All Blacks are very shocked when they play France. Throughout the history, they were shocked because France really know how to beat the All Blacks, since they play a similar style with the offloading game and all of that jazz. So in my opinion, France are at the moment, and I think in almost everyone's opinion, France are at the moment the favourites of winning the World Cup next year. But then you also have Ireland, and I don't want to say Ireland versus France in the World Cup final. Obviously, I don't want to say that because I'm a Springbok supporter, but that could possibly happen because Ireland are a flipping good team at the moment. They are flipping good. They have a brilliant backline style of playing the game since Andy Farrell took over. Like, he just changed the attacking style. They don't play with the forwards all the time anymore like they did in the Joe Schmidt era. They use the backline a lot. They gain a lot of meters. They get over the gain line a lot. That's like, I don't think I've ever seen a solid tackle like against an Irish player at the moment after the Six Nations, because they just keep moving forward. They keep moving forward with the backline moves and all the decoys. Andy Farrell is a fantastic coach. I mean, Owen Farrell, that family is a rugby family. His son Owen Farrell plays for England, but I'm quite I'm not sure what happened to him recently, because he didn't play recently for England. He was Marcus Smith, obviously, but I don't know why they removed him from the centre position, because he was quite decent there. But yeah, that's the case. So Ireland, they are just phenomenal at the moment. They are playing a 3-test series against the All Blacks in New Zealand this year, in June, obviously. And they actually have a realistic and decent chance of beating the All Blacks in the series. They can win the series, but then they must perform at their very best, because in my opinion, they would win at least one of the games in New Zealand. That's a very hard thing to achieve, but they've beaten the All Blacks last year. The All Blacks aren't great at the moment. So yeah, they really have a good chance, particularly the way how they performed in the Six Nations. And yeah, so we have France and Ireland now. They are the two contenders so far of winning the World Cup, and obviously I said France are the favourites. Next up, I guess we have New Zealand. I mean, the All Blacks. They, throughout the entire rugby history, they dominated the game. They had a few shockers last year, but I mean, they still only lost 3 games last year. That's good. Not for them, because 3 games, a normal All Black side would like only lose 2 or 1 game per year, or none, and it doesn't really happen that often that the All Blacks team lose twice a week in a row. So it happened last year when they lost to Ireland, and the week after that they lost to France. They will be really disappointed with themselves, and I don't think Ian Foster is really the right man for the job. I mean, he's been a great assistant coach, but the thing that I think it will be a wise decision is that they can maybe make Scott Robertson the head coach and move Ian Foster back to the assistant coach position, because Scott Robertson is just sensational with the Crusaders. I mean, he didn't perform as a coach on international level yet, but like, it's almost like I know he will do brilliant with the All Blacks if he performs on international level as a coach, because he is just a phenomenal coach. The Crusaders 3 times in a row champions under him, won 3 titles in a row. Yeah, Crusaders are dominant. So the difference came when Scott Robertson took over as head coach, because before that they weren't really as good for a while. But yeah, obviously throughout the Super Rugby history they dominated. But yeah, let's not get into that topic, because that's not part of the video really. But I think they must make Scott Robertson the head coach, but I can't control them. But I still think they can win the World Cup under Ian Foster. They must really pull their pants up, because they didn't really perform well last year. I mean, they did, like, if it was a Springbok team, you would have said they performed great last year. But for All Blacks team, that's not a great performance last year. 3 games, lose 2 in a row. So yeah, but they can really still win this World Cup. They are still very dangerous. They've hammered the Wallabies last year in the Bledisloe Cup, and the Wallabies are also improving. But yeah, I think the All Blacks really have a good chance of winning the World Cup. But at the moment, I still pick France as the favourites. At the moment, after that Six Nations, and that last game they played against the All Blacks, which was in 20 November last year on my birthday. So yeah, But anyway, moving on. So the next contender I would put, you will be shocked, England. They didn't have a great Six Nations. They actually had a very poor Six Nations this year and last year. But I mean, I don't think that's Eddie's fault, because there's new players coming in. The younger players must understand how to cope on international level. They must have to get to know each other better, and they will, by the end 2023 reach, then they will know each other better. They will know how to link with each other. So the thing, when experienced players go away and new guys come in, it can have an effect on consistency that maybe not as much as it's supposed to be. So yeah, England were quite inconsistent because last year and this year so far, because they had new players coming in. They went through the exact same phase in 2018 under Eddie, and he fixed them straight away for the World Cup in 2019. So yeah, I still think they have a chance of winning in 2023. I haven't really watched all their games in the Six Nations, but that one against France, obviously everyone will say they played so bad, but in their attack they are very creative, as they always were under Eddie Jones. And obviously the scrums that the South African made them strong at, Matt Proudfoot or Matthew Proudfoot, yeah, they are very strong in the scrums, so they also stand a quite decent chance if they just can sort out the player problem before when the World Cup arrives. So they still have a strong chance of winning the World Cup. And then I'm not really sure if South Africa are contenders at the moment, because they didn't have a great performance last year, and I mean, they have to change their way of playing. We are in the pool of death. We have Ireland in our pool. They have a very good chance of beating us next year, and then we have Scotland. We will probably beat Scotland, but who knows? Well, yeah, we will probably beat them, but I don't know if we will beat Ireland, because our defense is brilliant, but we give away too many penalties while we're defending. Our discipline is terrible, and a guy like Sean Edwards, defense coach of France, the thing with him, he makes you have strong defense and discipline at the same time. So we want to work on, we have to work on the discipline. Really, it's unacceptable. And the forward game that we are playing, they say it's our DNA, it is, but like, we have talented backline players like Farsi that came in last year a little bit late, Pollard, Mapimpi, Lucanio Damien Lende, although he's a guy that likes to crush through players rather than passing the ball, but if the coach just give him orders to pass the ball, then he will. So he's also a talented backline player, as well as Cheslin Colby. We have talented backline players, we must freaking use them, because backline is also part of our DNA. Don't get me wrong, backline is part of our DNA. We have to attack more creatively and open up defense more, so that we can score more tries. Because this box kicking game is it is effective, but sometimes we are like in the 22 of the opposition, and then Flippin' Fuff wants to box kick. That's like the position where you actually want to pass the ball to score the try, not box kick, box kick, box kick, and box kick again. So we have to change our way of playing. Then we can be contenders, definitely, if it works effectively. But at the moment, I've got France as favourites, New Zealand as contenders also, Ireland as contenders, and England as contenders. At one stage last year, I actually thought maybe the Wallabies are also contenders for the World Cup, but because they've won like 5 games in a row at one stage last year, including 2 against the Springboks, but then they just messed up after that against Wales, Scotland and England. But that's probably because I didn't have Quade Cooper and Samagurovi, Marika Korobeti. They are nothing without those guys. Those guys play a huge role in the team. So yeah, but I think they will be quite dangerous in the World Cup. The Wallabies, they are not the same Wallabies like they were under Michael Cheika. Michael Cheika like just messed up with them eventually. At the start, it was good with them in 2015, but later on, it just messed up. Dave Rennie is a professional. I'm not saying Michael Cheika is not a professional, but I think Dave Rennie is a better coach. Like, yeah, he knows what he's doing. So yeah, that is my contenders, and at the moment I'm saying France will win the World Cup. I could be wrong, obviously, but yeah, at the moment I don't see them not winning the World Cup because they developed consistency, and that's something that they struggled with throughout their entire history. So it's amazing what Fabien Galtier, the coach with the goggles, did to that team. I take my I really take my hat off for him because he is a sensational coach. So yeah. Okay guys, that's gonna do for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments down below what you think, who will win the World Cup, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.